the festive season approaches, many Namibians are preparing to travel, shop online and send money to loved ones. Unfortunately, this is also the time when fraudsters become more active, taking advantage of the increased spending generosity and a rush that often comes with the holidays. To help the public stay vigilant, the First National Bank has rolled out its Festive Fraud Watch campaign aimed at raising awareness about the most common scams that tend to spike during this period and how criminals lure unsuspecting victims. It is against this background now that Carpio Minnaar, the operations head of FNB Retail Banking, joins us in studio to help us unpack the most common festive season scams, explain how fraudsters hook their targets and share practical tips on how Namibians can protect themselves and their finances during the holidays. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure to have you this morning. Now, of course, it's the end of the year. I've saved up a lot of money with wanting to travel with my loved ones, of course, send to loved ones as well. But it happens a lot that, of course, scams have been, prevalent. Talk to us about what type of scams, especially SMSs and phone calls, tend to increase the most during this time of the year.
So during the festive season, fraudsters have the tendency of luring in the customers, their victims, by sending SMSs and alerts that looks legitimate from a banking perspective, but specifically also traveling arrangements or traveling payments, because of the fact that during the festive season, we travel a lot. So they use specific messages that is kind of looking legitimate because of the fact that it is this period and people have the tendency of slowing down and relaxing. And what we normally see is that people are falling victim because of the fact that the fraudsters pretend to either be a network provider or even the bank, trying to indicate that there are issues with the account or there are specific prizes that are won. So these things are very lucrative, and in the festive season, who would want to be restricted from communicating or accessing your bank? Or who would not want to win a prize?
Absolutely, and it's quite, tricky. I've known a couple of people who actually have fallen victim of this. But let's talk about the common hooks that fraudsters actually use this time of the year. I mean, we know of parcel deliveries, festive giveaways, event tickets even that are used, of course, to lure unsuspecting victims. Yeah.
So what we've also seen is that it is a tendency, or we use a lot of ordering online. So the fraudsters make use of this information to try and, again, lure the customers, the victims, into sending illegitimate SMSs indicating that your parcel delivery address is not correct. Yeah. You need to log onto this link, or you need to contact this person in order to ensure that your parcel is delivered correctly. But what we've also picked up over the past years is that holiday accommodations, flight arrangements, traveling arrangements, these type of messaging is also becoming quite lucrative for fraudsters, and customers fall for it because of the season. And it is really scary how quickly we can fall into that trap because of the fact that it is the season. But at the end of the day, what you need to be vigilant about is, did I order something at this point of time? Do I expect something to be delivered? Is the hotel accommodation, or is my travel arrangements, is it indeed the information that this SMS or this phone call is alluding to?
Yeah, and it's actually very scary to always ask, or rather try to establish how these scammers also get your details, your not only your banking details, but even your phone number as such as well. According to your investigations, how do these scammers actually get to have the contact details of a victim, for instance?
So a lot of the times we pick up that customers actually divulge information very easily. And we're also putting out awareness out there in order to give information to our customers around and also to the broader nation around what information you should give and shouldn't give. But it is weird. We haven't really gotten to the crux of where specifically a cell phone number is collected from. It is. I'm working in fraud, so I'm very skeptical around giving my cell phone number, writing my cell phone number, including my ID number on a specific document when I need to check in or register somewhere. So that it's unfortunately the world that we're living in, but then we should still remain vigilant about the phone calls and the information that we then divulge via the telephonic information or
Absolutely.
communication.
Yeah, and it's very, very important, I think, in any situation that we find ourselves on where we are asked to provide our personal information. So thank you so much for that. But take us through a typical scammer's playbook, perhaps, how they use urgency, fear, or the too good to be true, like offers to actually pressure people into acting, to acting quickly, because what they want immediately is to, make sure that you hand over your information and that you, of course, make that transaction, or rather have access to your account. Yeah.
So I can't say don't answer an unknown number, but what the fraudsters normally use is, and a lot of the times these are the times that people fall victim to these scams. They start off very friendly. They start off by greeting you properly. Sometimes they would even know your name. Sometimes they will even know your prefix. So they will literally contact you very friendly, try and have a very good conversation, and then immediately they jump into urgency. They also make sure that they create a script or a scenario where you become, where they instill fear. Like, for example, your bank account might be frozen. I mean, during this season, who would want your bank account to be frozen? Right. Or you've won a prize, you've won a competition. First of all, information that not anybody would have. So it is also very important for customers to ensure that ask for the legitimacy, stop, think about it. And then also it is important to contact your bank immediately after such a phone call, or even say that you're going to contact the person back, but contact your bank in order to confirm. Because the thing is, yes, it is true that if your account is not KYC compliant, or there's something wrong on your account, that your account would be blocked. The bank will contact you, but there will be adequate measures in place to ensure that you are not put in a position where you are completely restricted from your account.
Absolutely.
So yes, they use that, and a lot of the times the competitions are the key one. They request for specific information indicating that you've won a competition.
Interesting. And of course, they always then try to find sensitive information, of course, that they're trying to obtain from the victims. And I know a measure that FNB actually has in place where you are on a phone call, for instance, when using your FNB app, of course, you are also given a prompt to actually warn you that you should make sure that you actually are not going to be scammed while on this phone call. But talk to us about the sensitive information that actually the criminals are always on the lookout for, that they try to obtain from the victims.
So they normally don't start with your OTP and your PIN, because they know that that is information that we put out there that you shouldn't share with anybody. So they would like I said, with a playbook, they will have a very good conversation with you to try and put you at ease. Then they will start with your identification number. And most of the time, they will make up, or they will give you an identification number. And as in human nature, you would try and correct them. And then that's the first thing. Identification number being shared. Please do not share your OTP, or please do not share your PIN, because those are private information and confidential information that can link so many things within your banking ecosystem that will cause you to be defrauded.
And why does the festive season actually then present such a prime opportunity for fraudsters to, like compared to other times during the time of the year? Why is this time quite a prevalent time for them to always attack a lot of victims?
It's festive season.
It's because there's a lot
You
of
know?
movement in the money, or
Not a lot of movement per se, but it's because of the fact that we're going into a relaxed mode. We're in festive season. We want to relax. We're out of our comfort zones because a majority of the time we're not home. However, we are in an environment that is conducive for you to relax and just, like the youngsters say, chill. You know, it is unfortunately the silly season, like we call it in the banking industry, because this is the time where people forget certain specific measures or certain specific preventative measures in order to ensure that they are protected. There are other information that is also shared quite often. It is the card number, the CVV number, and the expiry date of your card. If any person, like the fraudsters, get that combination of your card detail, you are completely, you're lost. They will be able to defraud you.
what are the immediate red flags that people actually should look out for? Whether is it a message, a call, or an email that may be fraudulent? How do I actually then suspect that this is actually not legitimate?
So with a phone call, the immediate red flag is if anybody, first of all, says that they're calling you from the bank and ask you for your OTP or your PIN. That is a complete red flag. The bank will never ask you that information. And then when it comes to an email or a short message, SMS, spelling mistakes, information that might sound too good to be true when it comes to competition, those are complete red flags. And then, as I've indicated before, we can't say don't respond or don't answer to an unknown number, but we do know short codes are used for specific messages being sent to customers. So if that short code doesn't look right, or it's not the normal short code of the bank, then that is a complete red flag.
All right. And if someone then suspects that they have been targeted or have already fallen victim to a scam, what steps do they immediately take to protect themselves, to protect their hard-earned money?
So immediately contact the FNB contact center. So the FNB contact center number is 061 299 2222 or 081 953 6262. And we also have a fraud line, which is accessible after hours, which is 061 299 2999. So immediately when you suspect that you might have divulged information, or you might have been defrauded, or you pick up any anomaly or discrepancy, or even if you want to validate or confirm any contact or any information with the bank, you can contact the contact center.
Very well.
But if you do, by any chance, perhaps shared your card details, or you pick up that your card, or you've been, defrauded or divulged any information on your card, you can go onto your FNB app and literally block your card. It's very simple, very easy. Log into your FNB app, go to the cards icon, and immediately you will see. You can just follow the steps and block your card.
Absolutely.
And then contact the bank again.
My last question to you, Carpio, will be exactly, most people that have been seen to have fallen victim are those that especially live in the remote areas that don't have the actual access to, digital access and all that. How is the Fraud Watch campaign actually trying to make sure that those people are also, reached and well educated about these scams and for them to not fall victim of these scams and fraudsters?
So during the year, we've actually rolled out several fraud awareness campaigns where our teams literally traveled across the country in order to provide specific information around fraud awareness, and also in different languages. So we do realize that, and we're cognizant of the fact that we have customers across the country. And that's the reason we go out specifically to the areas where digitalization is not really something that people are focusing on, or they do not have the means to it. So we do go out. We also have specific sections on radio stations in different vernaculars in order to provide that diversified information and communication to all our customers in the country.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here this morning, sharing this very important information. Of course, I hope to speak to you again should developments arise. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Absolutely.
having me.